Apparently Lamborghini Aventadors also have an additional benefit for men's health. Incredible. Welcome to Lot 76 Cars. My name's Simon and today I'm at the Pistonheads annual service at Bicester. We've got some absolutely incredible cars arriving here, so please stick with us. This is going to be a good one. So 4.6 litres and a hybrid system pumping out a scarcely unbelievable 875 brake horsepower. It is a Porsche 918 Spider. What an incredible work of art. Just even the engine cover itself is amazing. Absolutely beautiful features. Well, as if you didn't know, that's the fuel cap, but helpfully they've put it on there, so thank you for that. I think pretty much these were all left-hand drive. Beautifully detailed interior. That central screen system. I'm not quite sure what all the buttons are on there, forgive me for that. One of my subscribers did point out to me that although it's had a very good detail, it does suffer from quite a lot of stones coming up, thrown up by the road wheels. I think the lime coloured calipers signify that it's an e-hybrid, so you're doing your bit you're even doing your bit for the planet with this. Well done you. Absolutely lovely, isn't it? I mean, it is a very, very pretty and distinctive car. I mean, there's a lot of hypercars I can't get excited about, but honestly, this one really looks their business, doesn't it? Now, from a different era of supercars, I think this hasn't even got 500 brake horsepower, which it wouldn't even get you in the supercar club these days, but it's the beautiful, I think, Pininfarina designed F40 Ferrari. Now, I know we see these regularly on videos. There was one a few months ago doing the rounds where it showed the car was being taken for a test drive quite unsuccessfully by a mechanic. They are notoriously twitchy cars. Beautiful, absolutely lovely, isn't it? Very distinctive. I mean, a few people have tried to imitate that rear spoiler. I think the AutoZam AZ1 has that huge spoiler on it. We'll have a look around the back. What could it be? I mean, it's obviously got the right registration plate, hasn't it, really? In some ways, I think supercars of this era were really, really special, weren't they? And you do tend to see supercars and hypercars, is that what they call the even quicker ones these days? But you know what, there's something about that really appeals. So this is the Ford GT, not the GT40. So the original GT40, the first generation GT supposedly came out as a birthday present when I think Ford was 100 years old. And this is the follow-up, something like came out about 10 years ago, in 2015, 2016, and it's got the so-called EcoBoost. Hopefully not one of those with the wet belts in it, but again, the power plants on display. Let me try and take you over the top to have a look at what you can see through the that rear panel, a deployable spoiler. Let's just get down and have a look at that. That's a work of art in itself, isn't it, really? Central exhaust. I don't think you get a replacement for that down at Quick Fit, would you? Beautifully beautiful aero, isn't it? Look at that. You can see how that aero really makes the car work. I mean, some incredible details on there. The more you look, the more you see, to tell you the truth. It's one of those cars you could easily miss so much. Unfortunately, it's not open, so I can't really take you inside. There's nobody to ask, but hopefully that walk around it will suffice and give you a taste of what a very, very special car that truly is. So if your idea of detailing is splashing over a bucket of soapy water, then this might not be for you, but it's a BMW E36 Touring. And the amount of effort that's gone into this car, I'll try and do it justice. So let's have a look underneath. This is how clean it is underneath. Now, of course, no point bringing your car to a show if you've got those horrible rusty brake discs on it, is there really? And those dodgy looking calipers. So of course, renowned for rusting under the wheel arches, the E36, but certainly this one, there's not a speck of dirt on it. It really is a super looking car. Looks like the interior's had a bit of a spruce up as well. The front's just as clean. You can see right the way there, hopefully. And we've got a strut brace across the top. It looks like the M52 6-cylinder engine, maybe I'm not sure if it's supercharged or not. It's got a different air intake, but oh, that is done so well. I'd be afraid to drive that or even park it down the local supermarket looking like that. Wow, that is whoever's done that is absolutely, that is artwork almost. Now this epic looking XJS is more than just a body kit. It's been developed by Tom Walkinshaw Racing. So Tom Walkinshaw's son, Tom passed away a few years ago. He's taken over this project. They're building 88 to celebrate the 1988 victory in Le Mans for Jaguar in the silk cut cars, and it's a 600 brake horsepower recreation, or sort of resto mod, would you call it, of the XJS. And but they've done it in such a way, and they've engineered it in such a way that actually I quite like that. They've done it, they haven't ruined the lines, or some would say. They've faired the arches along the side. They've got some sort of OZ looking wheels there. Even the body kit looks well integrated. The interior unfortunately is not open, but that's had a makeover as well. They've still got the flying buttresses. They're still there, those famous flying buttresses at the back. As indeed the petrol cap location remains the same. The body kit, it's quite a wide car, but look how they've integrated that rear spoiler as well. That rear spoiler is really well integrated. I'm not a fan of sometimes recreating vehicles or all of the resto mods out there, but that one, I could truly go for that one. Now, I'm not sure about the attraction for these Morgan three-wheelers, that those that have them absolutely love them. You can say it's very well built. Look at the side markers on the lights there, look cute, don't they really? I mean, it's impeccably put together. Yes, it's basic, yes, it's three wheels, but I think Autocar are running one as a long-term car at the moment, and they're trying to use it as much as they can. Again, you know, it just proves there's a customer for every car out there, isn't there really? And if somebody wants that, then Morgan can provide you with something that looks like that. So by today's standard, in today's company, not particularly powerful, but what a car, what a history. A Lancia Delta Integrale. I think this is it the, I don't think it's the Evo one, so the wider arches that came at the end. I've driven one of these, and that same sort of semi-rainbow coloured interior, all only left-hand drive. Some were converted that came to the UK. I'm not sure how successful that is, but this based on a Strada platform, can you believe it? And I think it was a Giugiaro design. And didn't he do good work with that one? It had a very long production life, launched in '79, and an absolutely fantastic competition history. So when Saab, Fiat and Lancia came together to develop the so-called Type 4 cars, this was Alfa's efforts, but they didn't really read the brief, because they did quite a lot of work to it. So I'm not sure about under the skin in the substructure, but they've got the Busso engine in there. Unlike some of the other brands, they fitted their own doors, unlike the Saab and the Lancia Thema, Saab 9000. These are pretty thin on the ground these days. This is a later car, the Super. We'll try and just take a look inside if we can, because it's got that sort of massively overstyled dashboard. We've still got a good selection of buttons in there, but you can see the vent arrangement. Lovely wooden steering wheel, a manual as well. Not sure if all the electrics work. It's even got a factory sunroof. Well, there's not a lot to argue with that with, is there really? That's I certainly like to drive one of these in the modern era. I've driven one long time ago, and it certainly impressed me, I must admit, and I hope it impresses you. So this started life as a 25th anniversary Golf Mach 4, and it's had a few trick mods. So it started off with something like, I think, 180 horsepower with a 1.8T engine. This one gives you an indication the work it's had. It's got the BBS alloys there, and it's got the Porsche calipers. The owner was just telling me, instead of 180 horsepower, it's running 398. So I guess it does deserve a Porsche steering wheel. The owner's very kindly let me have a look inside. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, will you find a Mark IV as nice as that? It's been modified, but in quite a subtle way. Porsche steering wheel, as I just touched on, beautifully built inside, as the Mark IVs were. They were a bit of a benchmark. Recaro seats, still two-wheel drive, of course. We'll take a look round the back. Shuts that door with a lovely thunk. Don't they say, like a Golf, like the advert used to say. Wow. Well, credit to the owner, that one. Not sure, I think you could embarrass a few supercars in there with 398 brake horsepower. Fabulous. So if you want different, we've got a Miller Meteor hearse based on a Cadillac, 62 Cadillac, and it goes on. You just get the one corpse in the back, you think you could get several, in actual fact. Absolutely an epic vehicle. I mean, it just makes you wonder how people use these. It does says American Dream Specialist Vehicle Hire. Well, I'm not quite sure I'd want to hire that. Well, maybe for one final journey, but now it says a lot that in this company I've sort of gravitated towards this beautiful 205. It's a Roland Garros edition. Somebody's painted the fog lamps yellow. Well, it had to be done, didn't it, really? Beautifully preserved inside. It's got the factory roof in it, and these were renowned for causing problems, but I do love a sunroof. Does make it quite light and airy in there. It's got that Roland Garros interior, and it looks like it might have XS wheels on it in any capacity, be it 1.4, 1.6 or 1.9 as a GTI. There is just something so right about these cars. So light, so pretty. The pre-facelift cars with that panel on the back rather than the I think there was like a reflector strip on the later cars. The owner's got the model. Well, why wouldn't you have? It's a right-hand drive car. It's got the Roland Garros steering wheel. I don't know if you can just about pick that out there. Yeah, I think they just look so right. Peugeot have never really successfully followed this up, have they? So the BMW M5 is all about the engine. It's got a V10 pumping out something like a 500 horsepower, but this one hasn't. This one's got a supercharger. That wasn't enough for this owner, and it's got something called the ESS tuning kit, which I think was a Norwegian kit. It's supercharged. You can see the belt on the supercharger there, and wait for it, it's got an unbelievable 680 horsepower. I mean, this is supercar humbling territory, isn't it, really? I mean, he's uprated the brakes as well. Well, thanks to goodness he's uprated the brakes. It's got that carbon spoiler. It's running on coilovers. We'll just take a look inside. He's given me permission to open it up and get some shots inside. I think inside's relatively stock. I guess it's the what's called the sequential manual gearbox, as many of these were. Not sure if they probably they did do a manual, but I just can't remember, to be honest with you. Relatively stock inside. Of course, it's got the M5 kick plates. Why not? What an incredible car. I'm not massively a fan of the E60, but I could certainly go for one in that spec. That would really humble a lot of very quick cars, wouldn't it? So the late Peter Horbury got his way developing this, so based I think on the humble 440 460 platform built in the Netherlands. It's the Volvo 480 and this one's the turbo. They're getting pretty rare these days. It's got the coupe styling, pop-up lights. We'll have a look. It's got that very high dashboard. I think it's the same dash as the 440s as well. Quite a high dash. Built at the Nedcar plant in the Netherlands, which subsequently built Mitsubishis and their Minis. It's got, of course, pop-up lights, and the pièce de résistance is we still managed to get the Volvo grille in, but the Volvo grille sits right underneath. So still a traditional Volvo look, but it's a bit hidden away. But Peter got his way and developed something really which looked incredibly non-Volvo like back in the day. Super. So as the fabulous Lotus Elise approaches its 30th birthday, HP Tuning have developed this absolutely superb ultimate S1, as they call it, and they've replaced a lot of the parts They've got the Honda engine in there at the back. The car is open. We can take a good look at some of the work they've done. They've replaced the panels with carbon fibre. Well, why wouldn't you? I didn't even ask what the price is. And in this trim, it's got something like 330 horsepower. Can you imagine 330 horsepower in a car that's already significantly lighter than standard? That is epic, isn't it? I'm not sure about the carbon fibre weave, how you feel about that. But it's certainly going to make it light, isn't it? What an incredible Elise S1 it is. So this Rover Vitesse SD1 Vitesse is a Pistonheads reader's car, and he's done a massive amount of work to it, not least of all the repaint. These were brilliant. These David Bash designed SD1s might have suffered the original cars with water leaks and God knows what maladies, but you know what, anything that's got the look at the front of a Ferrari Daytona has got to be forgiven, hasn't it? That sort of iconic front of these cars. We'll try and get it in shot from this side. Apologies, it's getting a little bit busy here now, so I'm going to be careful I don't trip anybody up, or don't trip up myself. Wow, that for me is just right, especially with those BBS alloys. Now, as a former Audi owner of a car built on the same platform, our V8 sort of originated, I think it's the C3 platform. This is the Audi 100. It's the Avant, the estate version. Well, it's not truly an estate because obviously look how much it slopes there. It's probably more of a hatchback. In saloon format, at the time, they were the most aerodynamic vehicle in the world when launched, and see a lot of similarities with the car that Lloyd Vehicle Consulting and myself owned. It's in, certainly the paint's in better condition anyway. It's great the owners managed to keep up with this one, because as I know, availability of parts for older Audis is absolutely dreadful, unfortunately, but still looks relatively modern today, still aerodynamic and probably still very usable if you can find the parts, of course. So if you want your supercars pretty much naked and available at any time to do off-road, why not get yourself an aerial Nomad? So built to take huge punishment. I mean, this is not a daily car, as you can see there. Oh, it's got sat-nav in it. That's interesting. I mean, we are talking about something which is the ultimate off-road tool, and not for everybody, but normally these guys have a pretty much sold order book all the time. Love the light arrangement. Oh, it's even got a winch on it in case you get stuck. That's incredible, isn't it? Well, maybe you can really use it. If any reader's got one of these and has used it off-road, please feel to stick it in the comments, because it looks like it means business, doesn't it? So starting as the DBS, this Aston Martin Vantage by this generation had a very, very long life. And I think of the original DBSs was V6s, then we got V8s came along replacing those. And by this generation, it was a very well developed and mature gentleman's carriage with sort of an iron fist in a velvet glove. And this is a 1984? Incredible details on that one. I do love those Aston Martin BBS look alloys. Not sure if they are BBS alloys, but you've got lovely detail features. If I had to have one of those, I think I'd have it probably in British Racing Green. Anyway, not a problem I need to think about today. So these are a pair of iconic Chesil Speedsters, based obviously clearly on the Porsche design, but so much more than a kit car and so much more expensive. Very well engineered, beautifully finished. We'll take a look in a second at the white one, because that one's for sale, I think at about £69,000. There's a lot to say about having something like that that's built with, modernish mechanicals, more usable day to day, not with too many compromises, but still retains the style. So this particular one, as I mentioned before, could be yours if you've got, let's wait for it, oh hang on, 58,995. I overpriced it including VAT, and that's the special price for the show, normally 68. So it's got the 776 flat 4 engine with twin carbs and apparently a high final drive ratio and competition seats. Well, what's not to argue with that one? Perhaps accept the price. Get your checkbooks out. And we've also got another one for sale here. I guess this one here, this is the E, so this has got the electric powertrain. I'm not quite sure how I feel about that. I suppose it depends on what you want to do with it. But one thing you can't argue with is how these cars look. Don't they look an absolute eyeful? So those of you that listen to Smith and Sniff will know that they bought some months ago this Statesman, Eagle Statesman, based on the Senator. And they brought it along here today. This is their company vehicle. So, well, it makes a change from having a Ford Sierra or something like that, doesn't it? What a car. We'll try and get a look inside that one here as well. They've even got the peak cap. I don't know who's doing the chauffeuring, whether it's Johnny who's doing that or not. But plenty of room in the back there to record the podcast, I guess. Mobile podcast studio. What a car. Developed by Zagato and packing the Busso engine is the Alfa Romeo SZ. Some would have regarded this an ugly duckling some years ago, but these are quite collector's items, both these and the Roadster version as well. Certainly cuts quite a dash there, doesn't it? So we're in the modified section here at the show. We're going to try and have a cruise around and see what we can see and pick out a few. Obviously you'll see a few cars in the background. Wow, some people really do push the boat out with this car. This Martini liveried Abarth. Oh, absolutely, they've gone to town on that one, haven't they? Absolutely. Well, let's have a walk a bit further and see what else we can see. This is something else. As always, we should start the engine. It's got the dual ram 3 litre 24 valve engine. I suspect that's one from the Senator. I mean, when you can see somebody has done so much work, you really have to film it. I feel guilty not filming it because it looks brilliant, doesn't it? I do like the Mantas, particularly the coupes over the hatches, but this one looks pretty epic. Love those BBS wheels. I've got a thing about BBS wheels, it seems, but that one looks just so right, doesn't it? Datsun 240Z. I'm guessing it's a 240Z. I'm sure it's not stock under the bonnet. Got some very, very wide wheels on that one as well. Those dished alloys, probably got some spacers on there. If not, carbon look bonnet, even if it isn't carbon. You know, that one's been done really, really well, hasn't it? I appreciate there's a place for stock cars, but there's also a place for cars like this that have been modified, but they've done a great job. They don't look like they've been driven to a motorist discount store at high speed and hit the shelves, but that one, that's a cracker, isn't it? So this is one of the cars that flies under the radar. It's a Lexus GSF using a 5 litre normally aspirated engine. You know, incredibly powerful. A car of the like that we will not see again, really under the radar. A sort of Lexus's attempt at coming up with something that really knocks on the door of the BMW M5, and pretty rare cars, but you wouldn't know it. You could walk past it, and really the badging is so subtle with this that it would be difficult to really spot what the differences are between this and the cooking vehicle. Lovely spec in these, well built, and you can bet your bottom dollar it's going to be incredibly reliable. It should be, shouldn't it? There you go, Lexus GSF. It's that sort of event that supercars are more popular than full Fiestas here. We've got a V12 Vantage S, absolutely lovely looking paintwork on that one. Beautiful looking car. I think you will agree that is quite an epic looking car. And of course next to it we've got a Ferrari, I think it's a 458. I'm sure you guys will shout it out if I've got the 458 bit wrong. Oh, now of course there's a McLaren 750S or something like that. Let's have a look. We'll have to have a look at that one. 720S, apologies. Does look nice in that sort of orange colour, doesn't it? Wow, we're tripping over supercars here. We're going to quickly look. There's a 360 Modena Ferrari here. We'll try and get that one in a better shot of that one. Of course, it's got that crema hide in as well. Wow. There's, as I say, supercars in every corner of this particular part of Bicester today. And the supercars go on. They're all out here today. 600 LT McLaren, Ferrari, I guess that's a 458. Oh, that one's open as well, isn't it? Should we ever look inside that one? Oh, it would be rude not to, wouldn't it, really? Of course, beautiful crema hide. And half the cars, as you'd expect, is that absolutely superb engine, isn't it? 458 Italian, well, we know that much. Carbon fibre, we're just tripping over carbon fibre, aren't we? Let's have a look behind us. We've got, of course, we've got an Aston Martin. Why would you not want an Aston Martin? Especially in that, what's that, French blue colour? And if you didn't like French blue and you wanted a V12, we can sort you out with one of those as well. I mean, there's literally so much to do. I can't possibly cover all of these cars in detail, or the video will be about 3 hours long, but I'll try and take you for a quick walk through these. There's, you know, quite a few of the same cars, so we're going to skip over that 360, nice as it is. And we've got the SF. That looks amazing, doesn't it, really? Interesting, the styling on the front of these. The more you look, the more you see. A strange thing to say, I know, but you do sometimes pick up features when you come back to cars. And right at the end, if we go past this Ferrari, we have got the original McLaren from when they re-entered car production. These are relatively entry-level cars now. First cars had a lot of issues with infotainment systems and things like this, but they apparently look incredible value these days. Still out of my range, but perhaps maybe one day. So off the back of the Le Mans victory, Jaguar developed this XJR15. I think they're their own race car series, and the XJR15 actually, this particular car was driven by Fangio II's son, and also by John Watson, whose name still appears on the car now. These, I think they had a race series that might have supported some of the Grand Prix. I'm not sure about that, but put that in the comments if you remember. I don't at the moment, but it really is a special piece of kit, and I think probably rarer than the XJ220s, and those themselves were pretty rare vehicles. Some lovely detail features in here. If you know what those rear lights came from, tell me. I'm sure they're not developed just for this vehicle. I mean, this is a proper race car, as you can see, and it could be yours apparently. I don't dare even ask what the price is, but I suspect it's super expensive. Now, talking of special, we've got the special one. It's the XJ220. Originally was going to be a V12, and then eventually emerged that in actual fact people who placed orders were only going to get instead of a V12, I think it's a V6 twin turbo. Still an epic car, epically fast. Didn't really sell that well, only maybe a couple of hundred of the cars sold. And but now these are worth serious amounts of money. I've seen these £300,000-400,000, and doesn't that look an eyeful? Rod Stewart had one, many celebs had one. Don't know if they still have them, but hopefully in the hands of enthusiasts now. And I really like that. What a great pair of Jaguars there. Now, finding a B2 Audi 80 is going to be a rare sight these days, especially ones as nice as this A-registered one. What will that make it? 1983. I've seen at auction recently there was a Sport for sale, but this is a more standard version. It's still got that lip spoiler, some BBS alloys with it, and they are really of their time, aren't they? What a lovely looking car. So this 1971 Gilburn Invade estate is a bit more than it seems actually. So this is not a factory produced car, but when it went to the factory, it's believed that Gilburn adopted the idea of producing an estate version of their own vehicle. And this one had been done privately by the owner at the time. Wow, built by a a Welsh butcher and a German prisoner of war, and didn't they build quite a vehicle with the Gilburn? So to fit in underneath the very successful Neue Class cars, BMW developed the 2002 series cars, but this one is this beautiful car, is a touring. So you've got all the those styling features with the indicators just Frenched into the front wings, but you've got the benefits of the touring body. Now I believe, I might be corrected, this may be the first time that BMW used the touring name, and that's a name that's stuck even till today. And that is a beautiful and a relatively rare car. What, M74? I am really liking that one, particularly in that beautiful green colour. And next to it we've got a Vette, a Corvette, and no less a Stingray. Wow. Now I know there's not as many cars, many American car fans on my channel, but I just really had to pull that one out for you, because that one is, that 73 Stingray is an absolute eyeful, isn't it? Now, not too many EVs float my boat, but the new Renault 5 and the car upon which this is based does float my boat. It's the A290. Now, the styling absolutely works. They've done a brilliant job with this car. Almost from every angle they've enhanced what they've done with the Renault 5. Is it worth more than a Renault 5? I'm not quite sure about that. But I tell you what, I think it is a very, very desirable looking car, to be honest with you. And it is badged Alpine, as you would expect, and the interior is a pretty special place to be as well. Wow, that ticks a box. Quality machinery still arriving, plenty more to see in this video. It's super difficult to pull out every single car at an event like this. Now just try and pull out the cars that are special and unique, and some of them you don't see very often, and I think in this instance the Celica Supra is one of those cars. What a great car, called originally the Celica Supra rather than the Supra, with a 2.8 litre engine. I think this one's a manual gearbox. What a combination. Sold in relatively small numbers in the UK, and this is a survivor, and it's what, 84, 85 on a B. Built in massively small numbers is this excessive William Towns Lagonda, Aston Martin Lagonda. Not a huge amount of room inside. Got that sunroof set back a bit for the passengers rather than the driver. Apparently horrendously complicated electronics, state of the art at the time, state of the art now unfortunately. This one looks like it's work in progress. You can only admire the magnificence of that car in size alone. And I think they built just a couple of hundred of them. I did meet somebody once who owned 11, believe it or not. Incredible. Now I might get my BMW numbers wrong. Is this an E12 Coupe? I'm scratching my head for a second there. I do know it's a 3 litre CSL Coupe Sport Light. These original spats were from factory, believe it or not. This one is immaculate inside. Quite a bit of room there. I love how it's got that pillarless look about it, that beautiful wraparound sort of reaver hoop wood like the speedboats I'm thinking about there. Of course it's a manual, it says it's an Alpina, or it's got an Alpina wheel. Somebody has done an absolutely cracking job with that one, or if not, it's survived extremely well. Beautiful colour as well, isn't it? What an absolute cracker. This is lovely, isn't it? A Ferrari 965 GTC 99 TW is that car. Got those correct Michelin XVX wheels on it, really fat sidewalls on those. In actual fact, it is a 4-seater of sorts, so I wouldn't fancy being in the back of that one in actual fact. And got those knock-on, knock-off wheels. I think they with the that centre. Wow, that's quite a car as well, isn't it? With a limited run of just over 500 cars, this is the MG Maestro. Now the MG Maestro was a cooperation with Tickford, only developed at the time competitive, but probably now, you know, really very low, 150 horsepower, really into that turbo, really transformed that car. Big glass area on the Maestro. Maestro launched I think in '83. Turbo came later and added a real bit of sparkle to the car, and this one certainly would be one of those rare survivors. I think we're talking about survivors of these cars probably just about into double digits, I guess. This one's in superb order as well. So the E36 generation BMW M3s are not quite so revered as, sadly, the early E30 generation cars, and that's a bit sad really, because there was a real step change in terms of styling moving to the E36, and these probably represent great value to have a classic M series car. This violet one, I think they're a 3 litre from memory. I think maybe later became a 3.2. I can't quite remember at the moment, but this one looks absolutely mint. And you know what, there's another one there as well. They're like buses, aren't they? Violet M3s, you don't see one for years and then you see two at once. But that one, let's just admire the beauty of that one, and the one in the background as well. Somebody walking through the shop, but there you go, 2 for 1. So the R26R Megane, this series or style of Megane with this cut-off back, it's pretty rare to see these days, especially ones like this that have got a massive giant killing Nürburgring lap time, which was the big deal back a few years ago. This one, it looks like it's owned by Renault UK, so part of their heritage fleet, and they brought it out here today, and it looks a treat, doesn't it? So we're going to have a look at this one inside. Imperial blue, they only came in Imperial blue, and it's a Ford Focus RS. I mean, I was just saying to the owner, even the standard cooking RS was a great car. Some lovely detailed design features on this one. Owners put this one up on ramps. Let's have a look what that got you. Well, you've got to like blue, haven't you? Very comfortable looking bucket seats, I guess Sparco seats in there. Not sure whether these were, look like it's probably an option, but upholstered to match. So it says there, and you can see just as well as I can read it, 2 litre Z-Tech engine, 16 valve with 200 horsepower. I couldn't remember all that, but all the, you know, usual Ford features like heated windscreens and things like this. Truly a special car, and still 200 brake horsepower makes it a pretty quick car by today's standards even now. Still got the original dealer sticker, Brooklyn Garages, famous RS dealer for Ford over in the Worcester area, Malvern, Redditch it says. That's lovely, isn't it? So this is the twisted Range Rover, Series 1 Range Rover. It's got the GM 6.2 V8 engine, and doesn't it look an absolute treat? We're going to have a look inside, if only to drown out that dreadful music in the background. Apologies, hopefully don't get a copyright strike here, but let's have a look at the standard of workmanship in here. Remember, the original Suffix A cars had plastic seats. This is a later 80s car, but it's been updated with this absolutely beautiful headlining. Look at the headlining, that's incredible, isn't it? And the interior itself isn't half bad as well. Twisted doing an absolutely epic job on their conversions of Range Rovers and Land Rovers, and this is one such example. Isn't that absolutely fantastic? Bahama Gold is the colour. I haven't checked the price yet because I probably can't afford one, but even in the back of the vehicle it's been really well detailed. We'll just take a look in the boot there. Isn't that nice? There you go, twisted Range Rover. Goodness, a Ferrari that isn't red and doesn't sound half bad, does it? Let's see if he gives it, even on tick over it sounds pretty good. There you go, eh? Fantastic. So this is a Range Rover CSK, built on the two-door body style, and the CSK is significant. It stands for Charles Spencer King, who was obviously key to the design of the Range Rover when it was introduced in the late 60s. I think maybe 1970 arrived from memory. Now, these were produced on the run out of this classic style of Range Rover, and they didn't sell very well at the time, and for many years they languished in the bargain basement of used cars, but now they're being really well appreciated for what special cars they are. So taking its inspiration from the V8 Vantage is the Valor, which is the vehicle that Aston Martin introduced to celebrate its 110th anniversary, and not surprisingly, probably at this price point, it's a V12 twin turbo. There are just 110 examples, and this is probably the one that's retained by Aston Martin. Some incredible design features on this car. This is truly special, handcrafted and hand built. I mean, Aston Martin will build you anything. If you've got the budget, you can have almost whatever you want, and that applies to anything. You know, cold hard cash speaks. And this one is actually, out of all the creations and special creations I've seen manufacturers do, this one has got some lovely features on it. Look at the rear lights there. They're probably LEDs, so they show up very well. That massive splitter, carbon fibre splitter at the back. It's obviously got the flag incorporated into the Aston Martin badge. You can see obviously how prominent that spoiler that's built into the body is. That's a truly epic car, isn't it? So this is a resto mod, and it's the R33 Alfa Romeo, inspired by, I think, called the Type 33 of the late 60s. I believe the origin of the engine is a Ferrari engine. It's not badged as such, but it looks an epic V8 engine in there, doesn't it? Look at the interior. I mean, it really is a very faithful recreation. You know, one time you would have decried cars like this, but this one's been so well done and so well made. And let's face it, it's so beautiful that quite honestly, it does have a deserved place here. I don't know how many of these built. Put it in the comments if you know more, but off the top of my head, I've told you as much as I can. But let's just admire the beauty, shall we? So before BMW introduced the M2 series, it had something called the 1M. Now, it had already used the M1 on a low production sports car, which I think Lamborghini has something to do with the assembly of. Anyway, different story. These 1M cars were introduced into the UK, and they were sold in very, very limited numbers. Purists at the time turned their nose up as the engine designation was, I think, an N54 rather than S, like many of the M cars. But these are highly prized on the basis they only sold 450, and there's two of them here today at Bicester. The gorgeous orange one there, which I really like, and I think probably the carbon black one as well. In fact, the carbon black one carries a plate that probably tells me it was an ex-BMW GB car. Many of their cars were registered just outside Doncaster, hence the YE plate, but they are super prized, and I'd have one in a heartbeat. In a sea of very special cars, still this BMW 840 Ci stands out. I'm guessing that colour is what, Imola blue or something like that, long-standing BMW colour, proper Grand Tourer. Helpfully the owners left the window open. It's a pillarless coupe. Always, I love the pillarless coupe, such a clean design, and many of the benefits of a convertible without going that next step. Auto, of course, pop-up lights when pop-up lights were still allowed. What a very lovely looking car that one is. And I think these still, the prices appear to be on the up, but they still appear to be reasonably affordable. Well, I can absolutely guarantee you certainly won't see another one. This is a prototype, and it's from a company called Larkin Special Vehicles. Now, information about this is very, very sketchy at the moment. Each one of them will be hand built, can take a V8 or a V12 apparently. Again, as you can see, pretty much work in progress in there. Interesting design. I don't know what it reminds you of here. It reminds me a little bit of Jag F Type at the back. It's a very, very focused Skunk Works type project. I'm not sure what I think that looks like. It's a bit of Jag in there, a bit of Aston Martin, got some very big wheels on it. I expect over the coming months we'll find out a bit more about this car, but for now, that's what I can show you. If you know a bit more about it, then feel free to put it in the comments. So thanks for watching Lot 76 cars from the Pistonheads annual service. I hope you like the cars we've seen, like the fabulous two in the background behind me. Please like, share and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching.